Join this session. Extremely happy to see you all here for the session on resume building. I know how important resume is for people who are looking for a job or who is about to start your career. So just to get the pulse of the audience, can I have the number of years of experience that each of you have? Because I wanted to know if you all are college grads or you're mid-career or you're senior. If you could just start putting in the chat how many years of experience that you all have, it'll be good. Could you please do that for me? Just another few seconds. All right. I could see a mix. Okay, this session is going to be definitely interactive, meaning resume building session can become a social science class. And you know what it takes to be a social science class at 1:30, with due respect to the social science teachers. So I want active participation so that we are very interactive and I'm relevant to all the questions that you all have. Thank you so much. And keeping all the things in mind, so I'm going to have an icebreaker. So I think there is, this is not the presentation, Madhumita, so I'm going to send you another one. You could do it, but before that, I'll ask you the icebreaker sessions. Can each of you please put me in the chat when was the last time, meaning what is the last number of years that you have updated your resume? Can you put that in the chat? The last that you have updated the resume. Okay. Could you guys please use the chat? 2 years, 1 year, before 3 years, 4 years. I updated my resume yesterday. Okay, that's very, very interesting. So the reason why I'm talking about this is, what is the trigger for us to change a resume? Could someone please update that as well? Could you please put that in the chat? What do you think is the trigger to update the resume? Job change, okay. Okay, upskilling, new role. So when you have upskilled, you update it. Madhusmita, are you there?
Yes, Sowmya.
Okay. So looking for new opportunities. You have a new slides that have come.
Yes,
please put that. After gaining new experience. So by and large, if you look at the reason or the trigger for the resume to be updated was either we have a new skill or we wanted a change, which means there is a very significant trigger only which makes us update our resume, right? And it is very natural. And why do you think we need a resume? All of us think that is our Aadhaar card or whatever, right? To get an entry into a job that has been published. So resume was always considered as a ticket for us to find a job, or it is always considered to be looking at an entry, right? So if you see, right, this is an icebreaker questions that I wanted to put to you in front of all. Some of them have not updated the resume for the last 10 years. And this is true. And the cumulative amount of time that if you would have summed, it would be decades. People don't do that. And the time frame in which we update, only when there is a trigger. So resume should not be considered to be updated when there is a trigger. It's a continuous process. You have to keep updating it once in a while. What that once in a while is determined by how much you are going to reflect on what you have done in the last 1 or 2 months. An ideal updation should be once in 2 months. What have you done in the last 2 months, and what the ones that you have done could influence an update in the current resume? And icebreaker. So if I ask you to, again, name your resume, what would you name as? Just put me on the chat. Give a name for the file that you are going to write as your resume. Please use the chat. Otherwise, it's going to be very boring. Okay, very silent. Am I standing in between your lunch? Okay, nice, nice, nice. And have you seen funny resumes? I always have my resume, and I really do not know. There will be a certain number, the timestamp, which I don't know how big that would be. So an ideal, I could see a lot of names, but I then pick Ashwini, which is very good. See, Ashwini, senior UX developer, and some of them have even said that the latest updated month and year could be added. See, resume writing is not any big rocket science. It is ourselves being authentic and projecting what you are. So next slide, please. I'm going to have some funny things that I thought I will start with, right? Many of you I've seen that are freshers here. You just think that it's a good resume because everyone in your college have been using the same format, and your friends are using, your seniors are using, and others are using. Next slide. That's not how resumes should be looked at. Next slide. Madhu, can you hear me? Next slide. And resumes are not, they're not going to be ones that is going to show you off. It's going to show you grounded. It's going to show how clear you are with what you are. And this is just a funny thing. We're not going to sell ourselves in a market which is not a professional market, right? So nobody expects you to just put how you would basically swim if there is a traffic jam in the city and there is a rain. No, that's not what we want. Next slide, please. And nobody is going to do a double click of each and every word that you're going to say there. Nobody is going to gain any analytics or story around when you were born and things like that. But you still have to give all of that. But what I'm trying to figure out here is there is no prestige in the resume. We have to figure it out that very clearly that resume is a ticket for us to apply for a job, and that's all. And it is for that particular job. You may have to trigger and tailor your resume for multiple jobs. It may be a need. We do not know. Next slide, please. And resumes have to be really, really be clean, formatted, and without any mistakes. Nobody has the patience right now in the fast churning world. It's a digital world. We're all connected. The span of attention for everybody is very, very short. So if you have problems with your resume, nobody has time to read all that. Very lengthy resumes, clumsy resumes, having pages and pages and paragraphs of your story is not going to gain any attention, right? Next slide. Okay, so coming back, so I've told all what is not and what is. So what does an ideal resume? This is no rocket science, and all of us know. Keep your contact details very simple. I have seen resumes where they haven't even missed email IDs, a comma is missed, a dot is missed, a spelling mistake. Have the opening statement. What does that opening statement means? It is your one pitch statement about yourself, that you are so and so and you're looking for so and so job. That's all. And what is your total experience? Lack of any information in the opening statement itself will cost you in getting your resume sorted down. A very, very strong opening statement. I, Sowmya, has 18 years of experience in engineering and been an expertise in virtualization cloud and looking forward to work on engineering and R&D divisions. That's all is opening statement. I talked about my experience. I talked about my total years of experience, and I talked about my passion. Key skills. What does key skills means? I've seen a lot of grads and other people keep it as operating system and put Windows, Linux, Mac. That's not what we are applying for, right? We're all technologists. If it is operating system, are we knowing the operating system fundamentals? Are we knowing the Windows kernel? Please ensure that you're putting the list of key skills. You put only what you are expert at or near to expert at. I won't say expert. We all never become expert at any point of time. We are all near experts. Do not list the key skills as a laundry list. Nobody is having, and you have exposure to other skills, other areas, exposure to other languages, exposure to other technologies, exposure to other tools. Please have them. But key skills is the one you are completely hands-on, it's town work. The technical and software skills that I mentioned here is all the rest of it. There, you are a user. You are not an expert. You have exposure using those technologies. You have exposure using those softwares. I just gave a very vague example as Windows. I generally say, where I say operating system, I put Unix. Because I know in and out of how to work under Unix. I know the command, I know the kernel, I know how it works. But I never used to put Windows. Windows, I know Mac, I know Windows, but that's not something that I'm working on. I'm working over that, right? And personal attributes and career overview is very, very important in this digital world. What am I talking about personal attributes, right? Recruiters are looking for your personality. Personal attributes is not your color, your race, or nothing like that. How did you have your career journey? Have you been multitasking? Have you been steering at meetings? Have you been doing stakeholder management? Have you been confident in complex conversations? Bring in your personal attributes. These are very, very important. And career overview is something that I've always been talking about. I'll even talk about in the employment history. Please have it in the reverse chronological order. It's a descending order of what you're working right now and what are you working in the where you're working in the past in the previous organization. Keep it simple. Nobody wants to know the date. We're not going to do a calculator. At least the month and the year would be enough. Keep the employment history very, very clear. You do not have to explain about the company, what those company does, and what is the revenue of this company, and blah, blah. What have you done in that company? What was your value proportion to the organization? Please keep that. Next slide, please. So what to? First of all, you need not be a great blogger, need not be a great creative writer, or even great at writing. You just have to be simple. Follow the tried and tested format. The tried and tested format is this. Have a header, your contact information, keep it text, no GIFs. Somebody is going to refer you, they're going to copy paste what is there, right? There are going to be bots which are screening your resume as well. We all should be aware that we are working in a digital world where digital fundamentals is something that is driving the change, right? These digital foundations that we have kept in the last 10 years have made our resume selection is also being AI, ML driven. We have recruiters, we have sources, they do it. But then the volume that is getting screened, maybe a bot may be screening at the back, we do not know before it even comes to the recruiter. Keep it text. Please do not keep images. Yet not there, the bots are very intelligent to go and parse your image and then change it to text. Grab the reader's attention with just 2-3 top achievements. If you are a Java developer, just talk about Java and what are you good at in Java programming. Are you good in multi-threading? Are you good in inheritance? Put those. Very, very simple. That's it. What is a job are you looking for? For that particular job, what are your 3-4 achievements? That's all. Keep it very abstract level. Nobody wants to know how many lines of code you have written. If you want to give your GitHub link, nobody would like to know what your project is, what your product is. They will talk to you and all around that in the interview if you're shortlisted. But resume should only have the 2-3 top presentations. Could you put it on a presentation mode, Madhusmita? The font is very small and people could not read it. Madhusmita? Okay. Could you put it in the presentation mode, please? Thank you. Could you go to the previous slide? So what I meant is keep it simple. Grab the reader's attention. The top 2-3 is what is going to shortlist your resume. If I am looking for a technical staff, member of technical staff job, and it is for the Python expert, talk about what you are good at Python. You need not even talk about what you have written on Python or what kind of product you have worked on. That's not what they want. They wanted to know what you have done in Python coding, right? What is the experience level and the comfort level that you have in the coding, right? Highlight the key technologies, why you are the perfect candidate for the job. It's very, very important. All right. Academic achievements is definitely important for people who are joining the entry-level jobs. I know I've seen a lot of students joining in this call. Please include them as well. Any achievements is an achievement. Please write that. Okay, next slide. We all know what to, but what is the problem is we do not know what not to. We have a habit, right? Every one of us wanted to just explain it because we have 2 pages. We can write anything around 2 pages. That's not what you should do. It is okay if it is even 1 page, but ideally it's 2 pages if you have more, employment history. Don't have paragraphs. Keep it simple. Bullet. Talk the you part of it. Focus more on the I than the we. What does we mean? I'm talking about we as in the company that I worked in, the product that I worked in, and what did I do? What did we do? No, it is the I. What is your contribution? And I'm sure if you're confident on what you have done, just 3 simple what you did will just fetch you a call for an interview. No too many jargons, no media files, no GIFs and numbering games. Nobody wants to know that. Nobody wants to know how many defects you have opened. I've seen resumes where they have said in some test profiles that they have created 10, 15 defects in 1 month. No, it's not an appraisal document. Developers, please don't have to have the lines of code that you have written. And that is a question. Women on career break, should we give the gap? Yes. Be authentic. Be authentic. Don't exaggerate. Don't surge because somebody will look at no. It will be very clearly evident for a manager to understand whether you're exaggerating or not. The best way to get your resume selected is to keep it as simple as possible. Just cut the crap and come to the point. That's how I would say, right? Please do not copy paste from other resumes. This is especially for the college grads. I've seen numerous resumes that we come get for campus recruits. It is just a copy paste. Just a copy paste, line by line, word by word, letter by letter. You can copy the template, but not the content. Because we will get to know very easily, right? You're all from the same college and we will be able to know it. Strictly no spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes. Please correct all of that. So again, what not to? No exaggerations, no lengthy explanations. Imagine you're writing a maths exam. You don't write, right? You just highlight and just bring the points. Next slide, please. Feel free to be very authentic, very, very authentic. So somebody was asking me, well, how do I make my resume get attention with the recruiters? Fit for the role. What is fit for the role? When you're applying, you know what role you're applying for it. And you know what they are looking for. And you know you can do a self-assessment of why you have to be there. Just put them. That's all that we need. For coding related jobs, very, very important about your coding quality or coding strength, please do that. Problem solving, your data structures. You need not go and do a program where you are working on Mars project, right, on NASA. Nobody is looking at that. If you think only such people are getting calls, please don't believe that. We are looking for people who are strong in the basics. If you are from a computer science background, if you're from the IT background, if you're from the banking, if you're from the insurance, are you strong at the basics? So there are a couple of things that you should know on the basics, right? See if those keywords are there. Fit for the role, right? And call them, right? What you need, right? In terms of Java, what all is a recruiter looking for? You will get to know from the JD itself. Do that. And please highlight the individual contribution than what your team has done, what your product has done, right? Achievements in previous organizations is also very, very important. How did somebody viewed you as a employee in their organization? Right? It's very important that you have to put your all the achievements. If you don't believe it is your achievement, nobody else is going to really agree that it's your achievement. If you do not have, so for perhaps there is a question in the chat. If you do not have an internship, talk about your projects. How will we otherwise know how much of coding knowledge you have, how much of problem solving skills you have? We want to see that. Put them. So please go ahead and do that. And nowadays, resume is also resume is still very, very important for us to find a job, but there is one step before. Please have your LinkedIn profile updated in the resume. If you do not have a LinkedIn account, please go and open for it. I'm not marketing for LinkedIn, okay? My point is you need to be socially present because we are working in a virtual world right now, and pandemic has turned the way that we have been working. We are not working in offices. We don't have conferences. We don't have networking platforms. It's all virtual. Your LinkedIn profile has to be updated, up to date. Very easy to read, simple to understand. All right. Next slide. Do you need a cover letter? Debatable. But remember, if you're sending an email to someone and asking them to go and look at the resume, trust me, half of them won't even open the attachment. So what do? They see your mail body. If you can write a 2-liner about yourself, that is the biggest achievement that I would say that you have done, the first milestone of writing a resume. If you can't tell and impress a person in 2-3 lines, please don't write a cover letter. Nobody has the time to read all that. But I would strongly suggest all of you have a 2-3 line elevator pitch. If somebody comes and talk to you and you have just 1 minute to impress them and ask for a job, what that 2-3 lines would be. Please have them ready. That's the 1 minute pitch. Some of you can ask that whether can I have a picture, can I have an image? Debatable. Keep it professional. If you want, you keep it. But remember, there is no bias in the organizations. There's no bias with the recruiters, no bias from the hiring managers. We are all equally unbiased and inclusive. So it's up to you. Next slide. Yes. Sorry, previous one. So some of us have been asking, can I put my expectations? Senior guys, please refrain them in doing it in the resume. Resume is going to go across. Certainly nowadays people are saying we shouldn't give our phone number, our email IDs because it's personally identifiable information and we have to protect those information. Please do not have any expectations around salary and role. Some of them have also asked, should we have references? Please have references, but references, they should know that when it comes to them, they should be aware of about to talk to you. And if you have given the references 3 years before and you have changed 2 companies and they don't have any idea of what those companies are, references are going to be headache because they're going to tell, I don't know what was the new role. So references has to be kept only if you are up to date with that particular person who could help you. Certainly references and expectations are all beyond resume shortlisting. We are only talking about phase 1 where we can get your resume shortlisted. Right? There is another way of finding roles and jobs. Why do we write resumes? The ultimate intention is to get a job, right? So nowadays, these job searches have been changed. The way the platform that we search for jobs have changed. Leverage referrals from the organizations. If you look at LinkedIn, a lot of people who are posting about jobs from their respective organizations seeking for referrals. So when you go for a referral, you should know the person and you're going to send an email to them attaching the resume. And this 2-3 lines of cover letter that I talked about is very, very important. Somebody sent here, I am Ashwini, and I'm a senior UX developer having these many years of experience. I know Angular, React, and all this. That's all is a cover letter. Remember, a lot of job portals right now is asking you to update your resume. But what it does internally is it parses your resume and fills all the fields. Have you ever had an experience? If anybody had an experience, please type an S. Because these parsers are going to actually take your resume and convert them into the fields. So how important it is for you to keep it simple. It is very, very important you have to keep it simple. You have to keep name and don't write name of the candidate, not required. Educational qualification, more than enough. If you want to save time of the person who is referring you and also your time in uploading a resume, please keep it simple, very simple. The basic abstract level of resume is more than enough. My take is if you have a basic abstract level, clear with all the information provided with clarity, that's all it needs to get a job. Not having jargons and having, creative resume. All right. We have to provide all information so that somebody who's referring us is not tired referring you multiple times for multiple role. Right. Next. So somebody was asking me what templates we could use. We have a lot of templates that we have even in Word. Please leverage it. But to me, a simple resume is what is always attractive. What does simple mean? Which contains all the sufficient and necessary information without exaggeration and gives the keywords and clarity. The keywords are very critical. If you have given languages known Python, C, Java, Go, vague. Just talk about Python if you're going to apply for a Python job. Even if you're applying for a Java, if you know other languages like C, C++, and you're good at it, talk about it. I am even more than happy if you put a table of things and you put your expertise level as what you emphasize, right? Next. I've told about LinkedIn. Resumes are great, but it has to be aligned with the LinkedIn profile. And I'm telling you all, LinkedIn is great for mid and senior level professionals. You start building and regularly update your LinkedIn, and I'm sure professional networking platforms are the key for recruiters and hiring managers to source for candidates. There is an evolution of how candidates are being sourced. Job portals and job campaigns and conferences are also another way of attracting talent to any organization, right? So create profiles on these platforms and be self and authentic. You also have to regularly update. You cannot have an update 2 years before, 3 years before. I think by starting the session, we saw people have updated 3 years before. Definitely not, right? So please regularly update. Like you have a yearly health checkup, you should have your resume checkup also every quarter. And most importantly, on the job portals, when you are uploading your profile, so resume, profile, all of them are linked together. That's why I'm talking about how to create a profile as well. We had a separate session in Women Who Code on LinkedIn itself. But what I want you to do is leverage these sites, the artificial intelligence and the software to recommend jobs relevantly to you. The more it recommends with higher relevance, you're already there to get shortlisted. Isn't it? Because they are looking for certain skills and your resume or profile has certainly fit that, and that's why it comes up. So a lot of sourcing is now automated. It's software based. Yes, after that filtering, it comes to the recruiters, and recruiters are going to do the same thing. And the human mind, you know how it can attract attention. It is just 2-3 minutes of time to your resume, which gives you the relevant ticket to be called for a job. Next slide. So I'm going to summarize. Resume building is science, not an art. Keep it simple as possible. Call out all the skills that you have, your personas, whatever you are. Mention the tools, the processes, the certifications, and other metrics that you have. Very, very critical to mention your publications, your hack ranks, your GitHub, and any awards. Make the resume fit for purpose. Fit for purpose is fitting it for the job that you're going to apply. Thank you so much. And I'm done with the presentation, but I'm happy to take questions. Madhusmita, you can stop sharing and I'd be happy to take questions from the chat. So one question that has come to me offline, why am I not getting called at all? I've been applying and nobody calls. So there are multiple reasons on why you are not getting called. You go and introspect yourself on why you're not getting called. Is your resume not attractive? You have to certainly work on the resume. But even after working on the resume, if you're not getting a call, don't blame everything on yourself. Probably the role would have been closed and the role would not exist and they would have figured out some other candidate. But how do you stand out when you are applying for the job is to ensure that you're very clear. A clear resume is very, very important. on why you are fit for that role. So it may take maybe 2-3 resumes you should have, basically on to fit to the role that you're applying. So why you're not getting called? There are multiple reasons. There is absolutely no reason to get yourself demotivated, right? But the first thing that you have to do is go build your resume as simple as possible. Keep it crisp, not more than 2 pages. Build your LinkedIn profile because people are going to really look at that. I'm sure they're going to look at your profile, right? And continue. Persistence is very, very important. Any questions? I hope I made sense. Is there any feedback, any questions? Please use your chat. It's otherwise going to be a one-way communication. You should make use of every opportunity to get yourself noticed. That's another important thing. Just not resumes land in jobs, right? Every interaction and every networking you have may land you in a job. Please take every opportunity to make your pitch, be it asking a simple question. LinkedIn profile. We have, yes, I can, Ruchi. You can please send me and I can. LinkedIn profile is very, very important. So there are a lot of headers that LinkedIn by itself has embedded to it. Just fill them authentically and do not exaggerate there because it's out for everyone. We know you, your colleagues know you, your peers know you, your managers know you. So there's being authentic in the profile building is very, very important. And LinkedIn is very easy. It has all headers, all columns in a text box. You just have to fill. So 2 things. If you're an expert, call out you're an expert. See, I gave an example, right? I know Windows versus I can work on Windows APIs, right? That's the 2 different things. Got it? Yes, Ruchi, you can connect me in LinkedIn, Sowmya V. Kumaran. I can help you to review your resumes if you need any help. Happy to support you all. So updating resumes 3 years back, 1 year back is strictly no from now on. We are changing. Everything is changing around us. Once in 2 months, you have to get into your profile, review it, and then leave it. And one important thing is if you keep your profile up to date, it is just going to be lift and shift to the resume. Or the resume will be lift and shift to the profile. Okay? Any other questions? I think we are on time and over time. I'll be happy to help you all and wishing you all the best. And thanks for joining this session. We wish, Women Who Code wish, that each of you are making the best out of your career, get the jobs that you are really dreaming for, and have that resiliency in building a great career for all of you. Thank you very much. Madhusmita, over to you.
That was indeed a great session, Sowmya. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure everyone here is going to update their resume on regular basis. And these tips would definitely be incorporated the next time a resume is built. And once again, thank you so much for your time, and it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Madhusmita. Thanks, everyone. Bye.